Hi, this is Cousin Russ. I'm having this special office hours. I was in the middle of doing some cleanup of my database, and I thought I would share what I am doing because I do this frequently and show you how well, what I'm doing. Uh, if you're watching live, excuse me, if you're watching live, please use the chat and let me know where you're viewing this from and if you are a user of the Family Tree Maker program. So let me get started and let me just get right into what I wanted to demonstrate. So this is Family Tree Maker 2019. This is the planned workspace, but what I want to talk about is the Places workspace. Now, uh, I have done a video uh, that is on this office hours playlist, and I have rules for uh, each of the workspaces, including the Places workspace. Now, one of the things that I use, one of my rules, is that I will use the place name authority, which allows a map um, to reflect where the place is. I'm going to scroll down here to USA, and of course there's USA, there's California, Los Angeles County, and what you're seeing on the right hand side is who has a place name as a fact for that place. I mentioned that I use the county term in my place names. If I go down to this cemetery, that gets all the way down to the cemetery and tells me who is buried there. So that is an advantage of having the place names, using the place name authority. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. What I do want to show you is there's a utility up on the right hand side of the left hand panel. The fourth icon says check unrecognized place names and resolve them. So I click on that and a pop-up window comes up that says, do you want to make a backup file now? If I was going to make any changes, I in fact would do that. I'm going to skip it for this demonstration only because I want to demonstrate what happens. So I cancel, and what is brought up is that I have 98 of the 193 place names that are not correct. Uh, this is my data entry down the left hand panel. In the right hand panel is what uh, the place name authority wants me to do, wants me to change it to. I am not going to do that. I just wanted to point out that I have 98 place names that don't meet the place name authority. I'm going to cancel that. Now, the file that I'm working on was given to me, and it definitely does not meet my criteria for using the place name authority. Like I said, 98 place names do not meet that standard. Now, what I am going to do, let me say something else. The only way I'm going to resolve place names is look at records. The records are going to tell me what the correct place name is, or should be, or was at the time. This database was not very good to begin with. It was not used for research. I am using it as, we'll be using it as a demonstration file uh, that is not mine. I have used my own in the past, but I want to use this as my demonstration file. when I teach or whatever I'm doing. So I'm trying to get this file up to my standards. So what I'm going to do is solely work on this list of place names. You probably can't see that, but if you have Family Tree Maker and you go to the Places workspace, the list of place names will probably have a question mark in front of them. And if you have a question mark in front of it, and you select it, you will see that there's a box on the right-hand side that says Resolve Unrecognized Place Names. So you can click on that and it'll bring up a window and it will give you some suggestions. Now, I don't recognize this place name. I don't know it. I would need a record, but I've already done for this example what I'm going to just demonstrate uh, with another file or another place name. I'm going to select this place name. The record that was in the database said Boston City, Suffolk, Massachusetts. There's a question mark. There's a resolve of place name in the over here. And if I select that, it will not give me any indication that is a good place name. What you will notice, and I canceled that, what you will notice that if it's a uh, unrecognized place name and it is in the United States, I will delete USA so that it becomes very obvious when I see this place name that it's not resolved. Now, the reason why you want it to be resolved is that anybody who has an event in Boston City, Suffolk County, you want to be able to see them listed here. When I did the Places workspace, I had a cemetery and I had 50 some odd people in that cemetery. And it's only because I have the place name uh, correct. Now, what I'm going to do is select that first name and go to. Now, when I select that name, I see USA and there's no indication. So it has been resolved. USA, it's been resolved. USA, it has been resolved. This says Boston City, Suffolk. Now, if it was a good place name, it would say Suffolk County. Now, I'm not going to I don't want to resolve these. I just want to have an indication that I need to resolve this place name. So I am going to highlight that place name. I hit Control C on my keyboard, would be Command C for a Mac, and I paste it in the description of my to-do list, task list. I have a category where I want to put that called location, and I'll show you why in a minute. The entry below it also does not have USA. It's got the resolved place name indication on the right. I'm going to hit Control C and I'm going to paste it and select location. Now this is tedious, but in the long run, I'm going to do it one more time. In the long run, as I think I explained earlier today, I want to write a book. And one of the features of the plugin for the Family Book Creator is that I have a place name uh, index that I can include in the book. So I have identified 3 place names that are not in the place name authority. They're in the task list, but I need to go back to the Places tab and go to the second person because there's 3 people that have this entry in their database. I click Go To, and That is good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I hope you can see why I'm saying it's good. There's no indication over here. And I have USA. And here is Boston City, Suffolk. Now, if you know Boston, Boston is actually in 2 counties. Isn't that cool? So I need to find a record, the record that put that fact there, to go look at the record and see what it says. Now, this one has a 1900 census, but this 1900 census, I can't see the image. It was not included, it was not brought in to the record. So I need to actually see that record, which is why I do the web merge that I talked about when I did the web search workspace. I see somebody's joined what I'm doing in the comments or in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. That would appreciate that. What I'm demonstrating is I want a to-do list of place names that I need to resolve. So, in fact, there's 2 entries for the same place, and I'm only going to enter it once. But here's another one that is not resolved. The place name is not resolved. So I'm going to copy and paste that place name and put it into the location category. Here's another place. Now this one is resolved, so I don't need to do anything with that. There's no indication, and it has USA, so that's good. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. So I've identified uh, 2 locations that are not resolved. I need to go back to the Places workspace and click on the 3rd person in that workspace. That is USA and no indication, so we're good. We're not good. Here's that same place that where I started, and I want to get it on my to-do list. And there's another place that's not resolved and no USA. Then I put it on the task list for in location. And I got another one. I'll put it in on the task list and location. Click OK. Now, again, these records have citations, which is different from most of the rest of the entries in this database. But I can't get to the census record. When the citation was added, it was not added correctly. I can't go back and look for the image, so I would have to go find the image. I'm not going to do that now. I will do that later. I'm not doing it now because I want to know how many place names do I have to go look for. Now, I'm going to return to the plan workspace. I only have one task, but I want to see how many location to do items that I need to do. So I added the location. You see that I have 63 place names that I need to resolve. Now, because I can sort it, and that was one of the things that I talked about in my family file rules, I can see that I have a number of entries here from a number of people for that place name. So if I find a record where I can resolve that place name, I can resolve a bunch of people's place name location to do items. But so they're all sorted together, and Uh, there's my list. Now, one of the items that drives me crazy that I will need to find the record that tells me what the correct county for this entry is. What's in the database was Manhattan, New York County, Manhattan, New York. That's not the proper format for the place name. Here's another one. I'm going to go to this one so you can see why my notation is important. It says Newcastle County, Delaware. Newcastle County, Delaware. But it says it's not a valid place name. If I click on that to resolve it, it will say Newcastle County, Delaware, USA. But look at the date of the entry, 1753. When did Delaware become a state? I hit the plan workspace because one of the file list tests that I have is statehood. If I go down to Delaware, I see that Delaware became a state on January 7th, 1787. And the entry for the death was 1753. So Delaware was not a state. So the current place name is not correct. Now I will double enter that and make it Newcastle County, Delaware, USA. Make it private so that you can't see it, but it will be there for me for the map, and I need to find the historical place name for Newcastle County, what is now Newcastle County, Delaware. I may do another video where I do take a number of these place names that I need to resolve. If I can't find the records that got the data in my database to begin with, I will show you how I resolve it. If I can't find it, I will first look for the records, and if I can, I will look at another resource like Wikipedia, Family Search, to see if I can find out what its historical place name was. I'm not going to do the rest of build up this list, and you see I already have 63 items on my to-do list for the place names. You can see, and many of these are in Scotland. So, and I don't know Scotland. I will have to spend time and I will focus on Scotland and try to resolve it. The good news is I have two ways, and I've talked about this before, two ways to identify and resolve place names. I can, and in this case, I will probably come to the plan workspace and identify and spend time trying to identify all these place names in Scotland to see what the correct place names is. And or I can go to the personal workspace and see, and here's a perfect example. You'll see that there are no citations, so I do not know where the records came from. So I can't go back to the record and see what the record said. So I will spend some time in Scotland and see if I can find some of these place names in Scotland. So this was an exercise that I'm been working on all day. We'll work on it for a couple more hours tonight and identify everybody who's got a place name that needs to be resolved. Uh, again, please let me know where you're viewing from in the chat. Let me know if you are a user of the Family Tree Maker program. And I have a description in the office hours playlist. It describes what I'm attempting to do here. And also, I have a blog that is in the description, in the playlist description, and a description of this video. If you have questions, please leave the questions. I will be notified if somebody leaves a chat or a comment on this recording, and I try to answer them as they come in. But please let me know where you're viewing from, if you're a user of the Family Tree Maker program, and let me know if it's helpful. Okay, that's all I have planned for tonight. Have a great day.